Hey everyone, Iceland is a land of awesome opposites. It's an island made by fire and shaped by ice. Imagine volcanoes rumbling under giant glaciers, geysers shooting hot water way up high, and waterfalls tumbling down huge cliffs. It's a place of raw beauty and powerful forces. Iceland is in the North Atlantic Ocean, just below the Arctic Circle. Even though it's up north, the Gulf Stream brings warm water to its shores. This makes the weather surprisingly nice for a good chunk of the year. Winters are dark, but usually not too cold, and summers have daylight almost all the time. Not many people live in Iceland, and most of them live in towns and cities by the sea. The middle of the island is a wild place with mountains, glaciers, and deserts made of lava. This makes Iceland perfect for adventurers and people who love nature. Iceland sits right on the mid-Atlantic ridge, a giant crack in the Earth's surface. This makes it one of the most volcanically active places in the world. Eruptions and earthquakes happen pretty often. The land is covered with craters, lava fields, and areas with lots of heat underground. Geysers are a super cool example of Iceland's geothermal activity. These are hot springs that erupt sometimes, shooting hot water and steam into the air. The most famous one is Strokkur, which erupts every few minutes. Volcanoes have shaped Iceland for millions of years. Some are still active, while others are sleeping. The most recent eruption was in 2021 on the Reykjanes Peninsula, close to Reykjavík. Glaciers cover about 11% of Iceland. These giant rivers of ice carve deep valleys and make tons of waterfalls. Vatnajökull is the biggest glacier in Iceland and the biggest ice cap in Europe. Waterfalls are everywhere in Iceland, from little cascades to huge powerful ones. Gullfoss, also called the Golden Falls, is one of the most famous. It drops down in 2 steps into a big canyon. Iceland's glaciers are always moving, changing the land. Sadly, climate change is making these icy giants melt too quickly. Vikings first came to Iceland around the year 800. These tough sailors came from Norway and other parts of Scandinavia looking for new land. They built farms and fishing villages, and their families have lived in Iceland ever since. The Icelandic language is a lot like Old Norse, the language the Vikings spoke. Icelanders are proud of their Viking past, and they've kept many of the old stories and traditions alive. The Icelandic sagas are a bunch of stories from way back when that tell about the first people who lived in Iceland. These sagas are some of the best Icelandic stories and tell us a lot about how Vikings lived. Iceland has a really cool culture based on its history and nature. Telling stories has always been important in Iceland, and the sagas are just one example. Icelanders have some special festivals they celebrate. One of the biggest is Thorrablot, a winter festival with traditional Icelandic food and culture. Music and art are also a big part of Icelandic culture. Reykjavík has a lot of art galleries, museums, and places to hear music. Icelandic food is known for fresh seafood, lamb, and dairy. Traditional dishes are often simple, so you can really taste the ingredients. One famous Icelandic food is skyr, a thick yogurt-like dairy product. It's full of protein and low in fat, and people eat it for breakfast or as a snack. Other popular foods are hangikjöt, smoked lamb, hard fiskur, dried fish, and kleinur, twisted fried pastries. Iceland has a lot of different animals, which is surprising considering its location. The ocean around Iceland is full of marine life, and the land has many birds and mammals. Puffins are probably the most famous birds in Iceland. These cute birds with colourful beaks build nests on the coast in the summer. You can often see whales in the water around Iceland, like humpback whales, minke whales, and even orcas. Seals are common too, and you might even see an Arctic fox running around. Icelanders really care about their environment. The country uses a lot of renewable energy, mostly from hydroelectric and geothermal power plants. Iceland also has strict rules to protect its animals and nature. They carefully control how much fish people can catch to make sure there are enough fish for the future. National parks and nature reserves cover a large part of the country, protecting its unique ecosystems. Iceland is a land of adventure. From volcanoes and glaciers to its interesting culture and friendly people, Iceland has something for everyone. Whether you want to explore nature, learn about Vikings, or just enjoy this Nordic country, Iceland will stick with you. So pack your bags, get ready for adventure, and discover the magic of Iceland.